Welcome back to the news at 10. The leadership of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, NUPENG, has suspended the 3-day warning strike it declared yesterday. The Oil Workers Union had declared the warning strike to press for the implementation of the agreement reached with the oil companies on staff welfare, in which the federal government mediated in 2016. Both the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, and the President of the Union, Mr. Igwe Achese, told journalists in Abuja that a timeline of 2 weeks has been set to resolve some of the issues.
All companies that have attended the conciliation meeting and agreed to a CBA, collective bargaining agreement, should go back and execute the CBA they have with the workers. If a CBA is in abeyance, we have asked them to make sure they bring it forward for execution.
We have deliberated strongly. We've also seen the commitment from government, from all agencies, to nip to the bud some of these challenges that is facing us as workers in the oil and gas sector. And as such, we have decided to suspend a 3-day warning strike that commenced today, and also asking our members to go about their respective responsibilities they owe in the oil and gas sector and do all that is necessary to keep the industry flowing.
Residents of a farming community in Lafia East development area of Nasarawa are seeking assistance from the federal government to construct the only bridge linking them with neighboring villages in order to carry out their business activities. In addition, they also say they're in need of other infrastructure such as schools and healthcare centres. On our community reports tonight, we look at their issues and what the government has planned out for them.
That sound signals the beginning of the day's activities for residents of Akunyamawa in Nasarawa State. But in recent times, the desire of the people in this farming community to engage in work has dwindled. The usually busy agricultural area is now a shadow of itself. The farms are deserted. The women sieve and pick what they can from the little left. Peppers are dried up. Corn and yam tubers are all they have in small quantity. The chickens help themselves to what they can. The community is more interested in rebuilding. It is recovering from a period of destruction. Communal clashes a few years ago set the town back, and it has found it extremely difficult to recover. And for an area that before the violence was crying out to the state government for infrastructure, it has become a lot more cumbersome.
This school get bound as a result of this communal crisis that took place on the 2014. So it's only 2 years that we enjoyed this school when this command occurred.
So we want to appeal for our governor to put more effort and to support us in these affairs, so that whereby next time you will see our children will be more equipped in education.
Aside from schools and healthcare center, what the people strongly wish the government would urgently attend to is this makeshift bridge, the major link to other communities. It has to be carefully prepared before any heavy crossing can be possible. As always, there is a plan by the authorities to address the plight of the people.
Part of the plan of this government in the year 2017 is the provision of adequate road facilities, particularly in the area of construction of bridges, drainages, and then culverts in all the villages across the state.
It may seem 2017 will be the year the residents in this community bid farewell to their problems. That is, if the promise of the government is anything to go by. Otherwise, it will just be another case of words without action.
Welcome to Business News. The National Bureau of Statistics will next week release Nigeria's inflation rate for the month of December 2016. Ahead of D-Day, analysts at the research firm Financial Derivatives Company forecast the headline figures to go down to 18.3%. Now, if that becomes a reality, it will represent a 1.18% drop from November's inflation rate of 18.48% and the first decline in 14 months. The Central Bank's Monetary Policy Committee is expected to meet on January the 23rd and the 24th. The local equities market recovered from the brief loss recorded on Tuesday. However, analysts expect the bears to resurface in Thursday's session, citing no strong fundamentals to support a bullish trend. Bisi Adebayo has more.
Nigeria's stock market swung back into positive territory at the close of Wednesday's session with a 15 basis point recovery in the all-share index, while total market value rose by 10 billion naira to 9.7 trillion naira. The market's turnaround is attributed to the performance of 19 gainers comprising industrial and some oil and gas stocks. The three most significant gainers for the day were Okomo Oil, Presco and Airline Services. On the flip side, Guinness emerged as a top loser with a 6.37% loss in its share price. It was followed by Julius Berger, UAC Property and 13 other decliners. A total of 197.44 million shares worth over 1.04 billion naira were traded at the close of transactions in 3,410 deals. The most actively traded stocks for the day were Union Bank, Diamond Bank and Transcorp. And that ends the stock market reports. I am Bisi Adebayo.
U.S. stocks opened flat ahead of fourth quarter earnings result, which comes out this week. Let's join VOA Channel TV business correspondent Jill Malandrino at the NASDAQ market site in New York.
U.S. stocks opened slightly higher on Wednesday morning as the NASDAQ Composite posted its third straight record close on Tuesday, and it's up for the sixth straight day in 2017 alone. President-elect Donald Trump is set to hold a press conference at 11 a.m. New York City time. It's just about 30 minutes away from now. Although the topic is yet to be disclosed, most likely it will be his plan to separate himself from his businesses. We could potentially see some volatility around his remarks, and most likely through the inauguration on January 20th and the first 100 days of his presidency. All eyes will be on the banking sector heading into the end of the week, with J.P. Morgan, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America headlining the start of earnings season this Friday morning. Market volatility, for the most part, has dried up over the last few weeks, as it has been over a month since the S&P 500 has posted a more than 1% closing move. The S&P has gained about 6% since the U.S. election, boosted by hopes of increased fiscal spending and tax cuts with the incoming Trump administration. But the question that traders are asking, will this rally continue as we head into fourth quarter earnings season? From the NASDAQ market site in New York, I'm Jill Malandrino, and this is VOA Channel's Business News.
UK's FTSE 100 hit another record high as latest industrial data shows a rebound last year. Meanwhile, global equities ended mostly positive on Wednesday as investors digest comments from U.S. President-elect Donald Trump's first press conference ahead of the new administration's economic policies. And that's business news. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks, Melinda. The United States Ambassador to Nigeria, Mr. Stuart Symington, has praised the efforts of the Ogun State government to transform the state into an industrial hub. During a visit to Governor Ibikule Amosun in the government house at Abeokuta, the state capital, Mr. Symington said the state had distinguished itself as the first port of call for investors in the country. Also, the governor restated his commitment to partner with well-meaning investors to improve the welfare of his people. Now, U.S. President Barack Obama has addressed Americans for the last time, just days before he leaves office as America's 44th president. The president called on Americans to defend their democracy, which he said is threatened whenever taken for granted. As he brought his speech to a close, he thanked First Lady Michelle Obama, his daughter Malia, Vice President Joe Biden, as well as his wife Jill, and members of the campaign team, past and present.
President Obama's farewell to America is nothing but historic.
Michelle LaVaughn Robinson, girl of the South Side. For the past 25 years, you have not only been my wife and mother of my children, you have been my best friend. You took on a role you didn't ask for, and you made it your own, with grace and with grit and with style and good humor. You made the White House a place that belongs to everybody. And a new generation sets its sights higher because it has you as a role model. So you have made me proud, and you have made the country proud. Malia and Sasha, under the strangest of circumstances, you have become two amazing young women. You are smart and you are beautiful, but more importantly, you are kind and you are thoughtful and you are full of passion. And you wore the burden of years in the spotlight so easily. Of all that I have done in my life, I am most proud to be your dad. To Joe Biden, the scrappy kid from Scranton, who became Delaware's favorite son. You were the first decision I made as a nominee, and it was the best. Not just because you have been a great vice president, but because in the bargain I gained a brother. And we love you and Jill like family, and your friendship has been one of the great joys of our lives.
As America closes a chapter in history, this will be much to remember for generations to come. Maria Bird, Channels Television News.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? Next on the news at 10, English Football Association charges Manchester City over violation of its anti-doping rules. That'll be on sports. Please stay with us.